Hello, true duelists. My name's Craig Fee, and good God, there's a ban list. Yeah, once again, Konami has decided to attack me personally by dropping a ban list wherein I can't make a video until the end of my workday. And unfortunately, no guerrilla reporting this time round. Sorry, folks. Thought I'd cover this one in a suit. Or there's 24 cards to cover, and I felt to give it more attention than a guerrilla-style video while avoiding my boss. Either way, a few cards have done what we in the business call the Pine Grove Shuffle. They've moved around, so let's not waste time. Let's just jump into it. Are you stuck? My cat's just... What are you doing?
Stench.
They're fucking dead, and I am quite happy. Does that make me a bad person? Nope, that makes me a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Agito and Kelback are in their proper place because how the hell did Master Duel and the OCG beat us to banning these two? They make milling truly stupid, and the luck sack when a tier player hits them is simply annoying. We all knew it was inevitable, and now we can rejoice, because this video will have much rejoicing. And speaking of the inevitable, Isolde. What is this? 4 years too late? Fucking 2019 called, and they're here to tell you that they've already searched a copy of Rematch and Suprex and will be sending Phoenix Blade to the graveyard to summon Octofuck to waste all our time in 2018-2019 Goki Turbo. This card is one that I think the entire community had already agreed should be banned for like at least 2 years now. So yeah, that's fine. Even as someone who's tinkered with Infernoble Knight, I'm perfectly fine seeing this shit go. And then there's, of course, Math Mech Circular. It's also banned, and that's simply put, funny. This is an interesting one in that I don't think that it's entirely unwarranted in like the grand scheme of the game. Like the amount of power that this card offered to Cybers and Math Mech decks was truly unrivaled to the point where other cards are compared to Circular. But in like the context of this metagame, I don't think Cybers needed this at all. It's almost unwarranted in that regard, unless of course your name is Joshua Schmidt, in which case this hit was overdue. And as a matter of fact, this entire thing here going on is just proof that Konami caters far too much to the pro players, much like that one schizo post from Twitter like a year ago said, and they've catered this list exclusively to the top players, and in this case, like top player, world champion of Master Duel, Joshua Schmidt. And you literally cannot refute this. Don't even talk to me about how this is a TCG list and he's a world champion of Master. Don't even fucking talk to me about it. You cannot refute this. Forget fun ofs, here's a bunch of one ofs, as in you can only play one of these things. And that's Konami addressing the meta here in particular because they've gone and put Sharvara to 1 as the hit to Unchained, which I think makes sense. This doesn't kill the deck. It kind of makes it less reliable to a dodge Imperm or Veiler from the opponent on, say, Tour Guide or something. I think it's actually a really solid hit, and as someone who plays Phantom Knight, praise fucking Xenu, I didn't lose Tour Guide, so full bias, I support that one. I also support limiting Airlifted to 1, which I think is a bigger hit than this deck got in the OCG, and in the OCG, Rescue Ace is doing better in the grand scheme than it is here in the TCG to my knowledge. That's funny. I can't explain that, but I can tell you that they've hit the Stratos and I can get behind that. And then the third hit to meta decks would be Plants. Yeah, Plants now get only 1 copy each for both Dryas and Healer, which if I'm not mistaken, you need 2 for like the full combo of like Healer, so like Plants are dead? That's an insane hit, but between Circular and of course the hits to Plants now, it is incredibly hard for me as a Yu-Gi tuber to not be the 412th person to tell you that this is a Joshua Schmidt specific list. But in my defense, what else is Josh if not a certified hater of both Plants and Math Mech?
Thank God you're gone.
What makes this list more of a yay me for Craig Fee, however, would be the limits to 3 floodgates in particular. Rivalry of Warlords, Goes in Match, and There Can Be Only One. That's right, folks. There can be only one. There can be only one in a deck. Thank you. Thank you. I know. The 28th time as well. Nothing but original things here today, folks. As someone who personally just got absolutely busted and dusted against my friend's Eldritch deck, I'm quite fine with Tickboo being fucking gone. Each of these cards sucks to play against, and I'd rather see them banned, but having them at 1 is better. Skill Drain 3 still sucks, but like at least with Skill Drain there's some amount of play to it, right? Like Stardust Dragon can still get an effect to resolve on the field while it's in the gray type scheme. There's things you can do to play around and get effects under skill drain, even if they're a little more niche. There's fuck all you can do against Tick Boo Goes in Rivalry. You just don't get to put cards on the field. And this is a hot take, I know, but when I play Yu-Gi-Oh, I enjoy putting cards on my field. On to the returns. A number of cards are now off the list in some capacity. Harp Horror being at 1 has been the most room temperature take for the last 2.5 years now, and what more really needs to be said. Kudos and enjoyment to all Orcust players. Can't wait for you to love to open the fucking fridge every turn, because that's what that deck is now. Redex also comes to 1 as well, leaving just Titled Band to mock me particularly for having played Mermail, presumably. Despite both of them being perfectly fine to come off the list now, I can't really argue why they should stay, or certainly why Title in particular should stay over Redox. This was inevitable. Just bring them all back. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
And then there's, of course, Ib, the World Chalice Justiciar. Shoutouts to Baldur's Gate 3 for teaching me how to pronounce that word. If there is a card to raise your eyebrow at in regards to this ban list, this is certainly one of them. It was banned for some nutty synchro and link climbing shenanigans, and while the game has gotten stronger, I don't know that Ib wouldn't still be abusable in its current state. Surging a monster reborn and floating on link summon seems pretty abusable to me, but what do I know? I guess we'll find out after the people who are willing to pay $20 for this price increase to put it in a deck and figure it out, and then I'll just copy them and be like, yeah, I'm good at the game. And then there's, of course, Snatch Steal. My God, how much did the price of that go up? I haven't looked yet. I'm living fear. Oof, ouch, owie, right in my wallet. It worked so well in 2015. What could possibly go wrong? We now have Change of Heart, Mind Control, Triple Tack, and this card to steal monsters. So if there is a point where stealing monsters were to become a problem, we are rapidly approaching it. I guess there's no better way to find out than to fuck around, I suppose, so here we are. Can't wait to make jokes about stealing the game with this piece of shit, because I'm gonna be doing that.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
Not much in the way of semi-limits. Sleepy Memory was hit by most everyone in their predictions to 2, and putting it to 2 makes sense. It's the second best memory for the deck, or the best memory for the deck, depending on how you want to view it. I'd say second best. It's a sensible hit. No one's complaining about this. I'm fine with it, even though I like my cat to be fat. The other 2 semis are much more interesting to me. Pankratops makes sense because we got Fenrir at 3. Pank is no better, so fuck it. Like I said, let's fuck around. Let's have some beefcake going second tools with the ideal male physical form here. And then there's Speedroid Terratop. That seems like a bold take to me. I hope whoever made this list didn't consume their bold Doritos. I don't think it's going to break anything, certainly not right now, but if it comes to 3, you've got 2 free bodies to be abused in the grand scheme of the game, and that can be exploited at some point. In the meantime, Speedroid players can rejoice. And fuck you, Konami, because I just recently made a video saying that this card would probably stay at 1 for the foreseeable future, and now all the comments are going to be like, nope, it's not limited anymore, and why do you got to make me look like an idiot, huh? Do that fine by myself.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
And the Unlimits. The cards Konami themselves has said, who cares? Literally, who cares? Archfiend of the Infernity varieties returned to 3, which will probably be annoying at locals, but otherwise is fine. I can't see Infernity being the craziest board building deck in a format of crazy board building decks. He said, tempting fate. I already kind of spoiled this, but Mind Control is also at 3 now, so yeah, believe me when I say they're our monsters in the current format. Desires also goes up to 3, which is interesting because I predicted another pot would be moving on the list and in the opposite direction, but hey, here we are. Right next to Spellbook of Judgment at 3. I played in 2013, I still am terrorized by this, and yet I also know, who cares? It's fine. That's just terrifying to me as a concept. That is a fine card now. Holy shit, dude. Upstart Goblin also jumps back up to 3, meaning that 37 card decks can be a thing again. That seems interesting, and hints that this may in fact be a list designed by Patrick Hoban himself. How's that for a bit of an older reference? I don't know if that'll break anything, but it's a fun throwback if nothing else. And the last card on the list is Sprite Starter and Nightmare Unicorn. Nope, Kashtira Unicorn. It's so irrelevant, I literally didn't even mention it. The last card is truly Sprite Starter, which I bring up to say that, goddammit, this really is just a Joshua Schmidt custom list, isn't it? Not a single runic card hit, and then this back to 3. Josh, my recommendation in the future, subtlety, if you'd please. Just try and like one hit that maybe you wouldn't be fond of, like, you know, I don't even know, like Hugin to 2, just to pretend, to let us all pretend.
So that's it? What, we some kind of
ban list? And that's it for this ban list, which was way bigger than I thought it'd be, at least in terms of number of cards moved. It's also sooner than I thought it'd be. I haven't even got to make my goddamn prediction video yet, Konami. What the fuck? I was literally gonna make it next week. I've got some time off from work and I was like, cool, I can sit down and do it. And nope, fuck you is the moral of this entire story. It sucks to suck for me, but it is great to see from the money men that dictate which of my cardboard I'm allowed to use. This did surprisingly little to the meta, which I think is nice, because no deck is dead, except for Math Mech maybe, but that's fine, who cares? Rescue Ace, Unchained, and Pearly are still great options, and Labyrinth is completely unscathed for no reason, despite its rampant success across multiple events and regions and formats, and the fact that it's getting support in the form of like transaction rollback, and it's only going up from here, but whatever, it didn't need hits. We needed to hit Pearly some more. Stay consistent, Konami. Really, the main thing this did was give a bunch of tools for every other deck, and a lot of cases, decks in the case of something like Ib. What the fuck was that sentence? We're not fixing it. Ib's back, and Snatch Steel are now back, and Mind Control, and you can break boards, and you can have 3 desires and upstarts for people who love eating drool for breakfast, and, you know, there are less floodgates to deal with, which is the best fucking thing in the world right next to Pankratops. But as notable as the hits and shifts are, there are some shifts on the list missing, namely Shifter, still rocking at 3, and here to ruin duels even more. Fenrir is also a card that a lot of people have wanted limited or banned, and it's completely untouched, not to mention Prosperity is still kicking around. Now, Prosperity I can make some sense of because it only just became widely available and it's super duper splashable. Fenrir is too, but Prosp more. So I get if they're letting us have a list or 2 with Prospies just so that people aren't like, why did you finally give us this and then immediately ban it? I don't know. I think I like it. For the most part, I like it. Maybe it's just because I really hate Tick Boo, but who knows? It's not the best list in the world. It's certainly out of fucking blue. I thought we'd be getting this in January, not for January, but it's fine. Yeah, some Unlimits still a floodgate that needs to go as well, but it's fine. You know, Calamity's still in the game, but it's fine. I don't know. The last little bit here, I just go on to talk about like how I personally am low-key, high-key a fan of Fenrir, and I kind of am in the mood where I'm like, I like stupidly broken cards that lift every deck, like Norden before this and Fenrir now, where it's just like everything's playing them and everything's abusing them. They do make the, you know, a bit of a gap larger between Rogue and Meta, but they do boost Rogue a little bit, so it's like, I'm not gonna bitch when that shit goes. Believe me, Fenrir has a place on the list at some point in the future. I'm just saying, I kind of like this whole like bullshit Fenrir mirrors everywhere you go. I fully understand if you don't though, and don't worry, I'm sure it'll be gone soon enough, and I've at least given you an opportunity to call me an idiot in the comments, and what more can you really want when watching someone talk about a ban list? This list does, of course, go into effect on January 1st, a new format for the new year. So get pumped to see more Dino Dudes, more Snatch Steel shenanigans, and no more fucking Math Mech, because Joshua Schmidt runs this game, so if he'd kindly ask to unban the party boat next time, that'd be great. Please, Josh, I just want to get wound up with Wind Up. Just think about it, the name's right there, getting wound up with Wind Up. It'd be a cool little YouTube video, maybe even a series if I bring it to please, Josh, it'd be fun. No one would have any problems with it. Please, Josh, please. Thanks. So that'll wrap it up. I guess ask for the subscription and all that jazz. Shoutouts to LIFD for the support. Why not? They're here. Look at them. 2 pankies and a spanky. That's what I'm going to call that side deck package, if you know what I'm saying. They've got the promo code YGOStrats15 for 15% off by typing that in at the discount code at checkout or clicking the link in the description. They're a great way to show the cards, they're a great way to support my channel, and they're a great way for me to shoehorn in memes that I talk about. So it's just boom, 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 nothing but zoom. Hit subscribe if you'd kindly, immediately become a true duelist, immediately impress your smoking Italian wife, and then I get to go immediately edit this fucking video because banless season's a thing, and even being 4 hours late to filming, I feel like I've completely missed the ship on this shit, and I still haven't even opened this box with my Fire King decks that were late because my locals ran out of fucking Fire King decks. So what the fuck, dude? Let's get to it. Have a great day, folks. See you next time.